Hello. I am having a massive epiphany right now. And this may not be true for everyone else. It definitely is not true for everyone else because we are all very different and have our own flows and ways of moving through life. And I'm learning it's really true for me right now. There are donkeys in the background. They're like, I want my food. So what I'm realizing right now, and this also is probably true for a lot of other people as well. I was just talking about it with one of my friends, and we were both feeling like this is very true for us. And the epiphany is that in order to create passions and dreams and create as a spiritual being, for me, my creations, my passions, my dreams are very, very spiritual. And to create in this spiritually minded place and to create these dreams, I need to get just the mundane functioning of my 3D reality functional and consistent. Like we kind of need to master the 3D in order to master the other realms of creation. And by that I mean, that probably sounds really out there, like master the 3D. What? But by the 3D, I basically just mean physical reality, like our bodies are like 3D. The woods around me, that's 3D. But the 3D, that's a weird term, right? Like, I literally mean like the third dimension. The earth, the physical part of the earth, our bodies, what we do every day, like the dishes in the sink or in the dish drainer if you wash them, the routines that we have in our daily lives, the actions that we take, my hair. I just got a haircut. It was shifting a 3D, which then also shifted something within me. Or shifted something spiritually that's more infinite than my physical body. So those shifts and those changes in the 3D radically affect our shifts and changes spiritually. For me, that feels true, at least. So what I mean by master the 3D, to master your dreams and passions, is to create routines that are stabilizing and that are nourishing and supportive to your body, supportive to your mental health, your emotional health, and are consistent. For example, if I choose to get up in the morning a bit before sunrise and watch the sunrise, a very spiritual practice for me, but also very healthy for the physical body, setting the circadian rhythms in the 3D body. So if I choose to awaken in the morning around 6 o'clock, that's before sunrise where I'm living right now, and where the earth is at right now, that's before sunrise. And by that I just mean like the cycles of when it gets lighter at different times. So for me right now, that's about 6 a.m. and I watch the sunrise while I'm stretching and I'm doing yoga. But before even that, I get up and I meditate and I work on healing my inner child and do inner child meditations. Healing my inner child, which is a really important thing for me right now. And then I'm stretching and watching the sunrise and getting into my physical body. And then I'm like taking care of my physical body by doing like lymphatic drainage brushing and like rolling out on my like foam roller thing, but it's not technically a foam roller, it's a melt roller, which is really good for the fascia and the everything in the body. But it's super healthy for my body and my circadian rhythms. And then I make my smoothie in the morning that has a bunch of nutrition and protein and nourishing elements for my body. And that sets me up for feeling great that day and feeling like I have myself. And compare that morning routine, and that's what works for me, right? It's totally different for different people. Like it might be completely different for someone else of what feels like their most authentic, nourishing morning routine. And this is just mine right now. It can like move and shift as I go through life in different phases, and different things will resonate at different times. And so compare a nourishing morning routine with just getting up, sleeping in, getting up late in the day, and just scrolling on your phone on social media for hours. Oh, another important thing that I do right when I get up, even before my meditation, is just hydrate and get water with some electrolytes. That's super important for the brain too. It's really important to hydrate the body when you get up. So then imagine that, which is nourishing for me, versus if I, which I've done this before many times, waking up super late in the day with no water, no food, no nutrition, and just scrolling on social media for hours and hours and hours and feeling really badly about yourself. Radically different results in your embodiment, in how you will move through life, in your feelings that day, in what you create that day. Very, very, very different. So by mastering, and that's just one of my routines that I do, I also am solidifying the routine, and I'm not perfect with it at all. I'm very much working in progress with this. And another routine that I do consistently is working out. I go for a mile run to warm up, and I do a very simple Pilates routine for like 25-30 minutes, and then I stretch and take a shower. It's a very simple, very easy routine to do for me, and I feel like so nourished and so much better mentally after doing this routine and taking care of my body, because it's like on the physical realm, it's super, super nourishing for the body. It's bodies that are strong and healthy live longer and have higher quality of lives and have more energy. I hear the stream behind me. It's so beautiful. And then my evening routine and my night routine and my wind down and how I go to bed is really important, and how that sets me up for the morning. And these routines help me feel stable and grounded, and like I have myself and like I have my own back. And other actions that I take throughout the day, like sitting in the woods, meditating, journaling, having nourishing, deep conversations with community and friends, and it all is shifting my embodiments of life and of the world, and it's uplifting and nourishing, and it's changing me and helping me. So it's like that lifestyle versus staying up super late, scrolling on social media, isolating yourself, smoking weed, sleeping in the morning. Like that's how I used to be, for like not super long, but I was in that for a bit, and it felt draining. I felt like I had no life force energy. I felt like depressed. I felt weak. I was isolating myself from my friends. And I felt really, really negative, and that was showing in all my actions, and I wasn't creating. And now, like, even working on my artwork, like, that's a creation and that's an embodiment. And coming back to these practices over and over again, and it's not going to be perfect. Like, you don't have to go all or nothing with it, but just coming back to it, coming back to your embodiment, coming back to your practices. Like, today I didn't work out. I've been feeling like very regimented, so I'm like, I do my work crew here at the farm where I'm living, and then I do my workout routine, and it's like this very masculine structure of what I do. And so I'm building my strength, my own inner masculine energy, so that I can function and trust myself and strengthen my body. And I feel so good and nourished. And then I have like my very feminine shower and getting dressed and feeling like I'm nourishing those both aspects of myself, and strengthening myself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It's all interconnected. But today I got a haircut, so I like left crew early. I got a haircut. I got back. I felt really hungry and kind of drained and like exhausted. And I was like, whoa, like my body does not feel good. It doesn't feel like working out right now. It's also super late in the day, and then it would, like, if I worked out, then I would be super late for dinner, and then like, so I just came and sat out here in the woods and was like, I went on like a little hike. I had some toast. I went on a little hike, and like a very nourishing toast too that I feel really good eating. I had like Ezekiel's flax toast, which is also like, even in that, like a privileged thing, and being able to eat well and have access to really highly nutritious food, which is super important for life force energy. So it's like also like how I guess people can do the best with what they have, but it's like, how can we create a world in which it's not a privileged thing to just be able to eat super nutritious food? Like, that should just, I mean, it is a human right, but that should just be like a basic thing of life, in my opinion. That's a whole other thing though. But I had my nutritious toast, and then I went on a little walk in the woods, and I just like hung out here in the woods and listened to like some spiritual healing music and meditated. And I feel so much more nourished and alive, and I also have been like going for walks today in the woods too as part of work crew. So that's been super nourishing. And different things will feel nourishing for different people too. Getting back to the point though. Oh, I feel spring in the air. Oh, it's so nice. Okay, the point is that by mastering our 3D realities, by mastering our daily routines, by mastering just, even in the morning after I make my smoothie, I drink it out of my smoothie cup, and then I wash the dishes immediately afterwards. It takes like less than a minute, and it is such a high ROI for my return on investment. It's such a high investment on just such a simple thing of washing this dish that takes like less than a minute. And then afterwards, it's like, I don't have to think about it. I don't have to feel that pain of procrastinating. I don't have to do it later during the day. I don't have to go back to it and have it be dirty when I want to use it. And it's such a high return on the investment of that little tiny effort. And it's like, invest time into your daily rituals, invest time into your daily routines, and that will look different for everyone, of what feels authentic and nurturing and resonant for them. And for some people it might not even be a specific routine, it just might be them being in their own natural flow of what feels nourishing. And so like, also like, I broke my routine today, but I was just in my natural authentic flow with it and letting myself do that, and feeling nurtured by that too. So it's not like a black and white thing of like, do this all the time perfectly, but being in your authentic flow, investing your time into nurturing activities and into nurturing your body, that has profound and vast impact on your creations. Because if I am spiraling and unstable, and there's nothing wrong with that either, it's just like part of the whole process of it for me at this stage right now, and sometimes that will just happen. But if I'm exercising consistently, if I'm consistently following through on my morning and evening routines and taking care of myself and investing in nurturing activities, investing time with people who feel nurturing and expansive to my energy, then I'm in a whole different mode of life and embodiment of life, and it will greatly impact what I'm creating in the world and how I'm moving through the world and how I'm contributing to the world. And I need that embodiment of it to create my passions, to create my dream life. Otherwise, it's like I'm kind of a mess and I'm kind of spiraling, and that might not be true forever. Like, I don't know, but it's like a whole different energy versus if I was just scrolling on my phone, smoking weed, sleeping in, not nourishing my body, going to bed super late, messing up my whole system, not honoring myself, not taking care of myself. Like, then it's just a mess. My whole life was a mess, and now I'm learning and healing and getting it back. But like, as humans, from my perspective, we're here as creators, and we are so powerful. And even in the scrolling on social media and like smoking weed, like, even that is a creation. It's a creation of depression, of anxiety, of feeling alone, of feeling isolated. It's kind of like a destruction, like a self-destruction. And that even in itself is a creation. And that destructive energy in itself is quite powerful. But it's like, how can we transform and transmute that destructive energy into our passions and into our creation? So it's like still using that very powerful energy, but now putting it into nourishment. And it's like ultimately self-love. And that is what is going to bring me into making it possible in my reality, creating my reality to be conducive, creating the reality in which it is possible for me to create my dreams and my visions and my passions. It starts, which is spiritual, like these spiritual dreams and visions, but it expresses through the body and into our lives, into our creations. So that's the message of it, to master your 3D reality, and then that will bring you into your path, your soul path of creations and passion and vision. Yeah, so exciting. This was my big epiphany. It's kind of been accumulating today. A lot of different things, like just the basics. Staying on top of your laundry, staying on top of your space, staying on top of just these little mundane things, even just brushing your teeth, like staying on top of those little things. It's so expansive, and it opens up so much possibility and so much joy and light and expression. So it's little humans, little spiritual beings, from my perspective, little spiritual beings wanting to create, having a passion, having a vision of creation. We gotta master the 3D too. And the 3D is like, I think a lot of times in spirituality, I mean, this was true for me for a while, where I started getting into spirituality because of like my near-death experience, and I just like dissociated from the reality of it, from the 3D reality. I disconnected from that, And I was like, oh, I'm spiritual, it doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. But it was like dissociating from it. And like spirituality now for me, it's like really interconnected with rooting into the 3D, rooting into the body, rooting into my dreams and passions, but that comes through the body. And so we have to take care of the body and nurture the body, love the body, and our 3D realities, because that even in itself is just a creation. So take care of your 3D reality, and the rest will follow.